Hello there guys, it's me, Unstable Voltage, and welcome back to SimCity, Cities of Tomorrow. And yes, you can see, I don't have much of a city. And the reason for that is because I have started another plot within the region. I've kept the original city, Voltville is still going to go ahead. This is Voltopolis, and this is going to be my industrial city. Now, I'm not going to build an awful lot in this city. It will hopefully just have enough residents to keep it ticking over. I'm not particularly bothered about growth. If we can keep it in positive economy, that'll be good. And also, we want to be able to get as much of the natural resources as we can from this particular map. If we actually have a look what we've got, we can see we don't have any oil on this map, which is a little bit of a shame. You can see the zoning there. I've got a little bit of industrial on this side, which is next to my power plant. And we have our residential with a little bit of commercial on this side. As I'm sure you can guess without me turning the wind map on, because I always struggle to find it. The wind is blowing from right to left here. Well, it does change direction slightly, but as long as I keep the industry on this sort of side of the map, we should be okay. It isn't the biggest plot either, so we do have to be careful there. So we don't have any oil. What we do have, however, is coal. So I'm going to get a coal mine built here, which is why I've built the industry out on this strange road to give us place for a coal mine. What I'd like to do, once we get the coal up and running, is get rid of the wind power plant and maybe put up a coal power plant. And we also have some minerals. Now, unfortunately, our minerals are all over here, which is quite close to our residential, but I'm not going to be too bothered about the happiness because a lot of the industry we're going to be building here isn't really going to require high wealth, so it doesn't matter if it damages the land value a little. Of course, we could just extend the road out and build here, but this is probably going to be the better place to put the ore mine in. And that's mainly what this city is going to be about. Now, I haven't decided whether or not I'm going to futurize it or not yet, so that is something that I will have to consider, and of course, to which extent that I am going to futurize it if I do. What you will also notice, if we look at the region view, I also have another plot here, which is Voltford, and this is going to be my education and possibly tourist city. So hopefully what I'm going to have in there will be some universities, and also maybe we can get some sort of expo centre going and generate a lot of money for the region that way. And just with those three cities alone, obviously, Voltville needs crude oil. Unfortunately, we don't have that anywhere else at the moment. But hopefully with those three cities alone, we'll have enough to be able to get pretty much everything we need up and running. So what I'm going to do is I am going to let a few people join me within the region. So if any of you guys would like to join me, what I'd need you to do is drop me a message on YouTube. So send me a private message and let me know why you think I should let you join in the region. And also remember to give me your Origin username so that I can add you as a friend and invite you to the server. Now bear in mind that I'm playing on the Europe West 3 server. It shouldn't really be a problem for any of you because they're not regionalised. Anyone anywhere in the world can play on any of the servers. And lag isn't really an issue because, well, it's not really a real-time sort of thing. But what you must bear in mind is that there are currently only 13 empty plots. So I can only invite 13 people. So any of you that do get invited, please bear in mind, please be considerate and only claim a single city. Because if I can only invite 13 people, it's not fair if I invite someone and they go around and start claiming loads of the plots. So if you do get an invite, please only claim a single plot. But yeah, send me a private message on YouTube and let me know why you'd like to join and send me your Origin username. So I think that's all pretty much covered. So let's see what we're going to do in this city. It is ticking along. It's making a little bit of money. It has some demand for industry and residential. It's got quite a bit actually. Residential across the board and a fair bit of industry. I think what I'm going to do actually is take another road. And we'll just build another low density one for now and put that across the... Well, we can pretty much extend that down quite a good distance actually. Probably go even further with that. So let's take that right down to the end and then we are going to zone all that as industrial. To the end of the road. There we go. I'm not going to bother building on the other side. Well, we might as well do. We'll probably get some industry there. Actually, I'm going to leave that for now. And the reason is because I don't have all that commercial and I won't have anywhere to ship the freight because we don't have a trade depot yet. So that's something that we're going to need to do. What I'm also going to do is obviously put some more residential in. Because we're certainly going to need the growth at some point. So what I'm thinking of doing, while we've still got a little bit of money in the bank, I'm going to take an avenue and build the avenue across and extend the avenue out. And I'm just trying to do this in preparation of the issues we're more than likely to have with traffic later on in the game. So let's... that will be able to build over there if we had enough simoleons, but at least we can get the road kind of started. I think what I'd prefer to do is actually... I don't want to go across where my coal mine's going to be, although we could skirt around that. Maybe we'll just actually go up from the end there. So we'll do that, and that pretty much puts us out of money for the time being. But we do have a road here. Now, let's just consider once again where those minerals were. So if we build on this side of the road, I think we will be okay. Or we could just stick everything on the end here, which is probably an even better idea. So let's go for those roads. Don't actually have enough simoleons at the moment, so what I'm going to do is take out a bond. Don't need a massive amount of money, of course. So we're going to build the roads out here and here. It's not snapping where I need it to snap, but there's never anything new there. And let's build the roads out in either direction. And it's always hard to get the right level of zoom here, but I think we'll build across there. I know that's not straight. It never ends up being straight. The grid lines don't always work the way you'd expect them to. And we could put another road there. And let's connect that up. That should give us enough for residential right now. Let's get back to the normal view. So we will zone some more residential. So we want all of that zoned as residential, the insides of that. And then we'll probably take another string of commercial and put that along the back. So now we've got some space here where we can quite easily, hopefully, build ourselves a coal mine. I haven't left much room for expansion of the power plant. That's because, as I said, I would like to try and get a coal one up and running as soon as possible. We've already got missions coming in, of course. People are going to want things like the Omega Co. Now, we are going to need to build an Omega Co. factory, because that is one of the things we want here. We don't just want the Omega Co. factory, but we actually want the Omega Co. HQ. I'm going to accept that mission, because it is something that we are going to be doing, even though it's going to take a little while before we can get there. We've got people that are going to want something like a house of worship. I don't see any downside to doing that, so we are going to do it. Now, these people here are going to want... what are going to want? Oh, these want us to start going futuristic, which we could well do, but I don't think I'm going to do that right now. We will do later on. We'll probably just put in like a futuristic water tower or something, and that will be enough for that. So that should all be all we need there. As you can see, we've already got workers commuting to Vaultville's businesses, so people that are getting houses here and don't have jobs are going across to Vaultville. What I am going to do, just here, is I'm going to connect these roads up, because that seems like a sensible thing to do, just join these two little estates together. So, first of all, let's see if we can get ourselves a coal mine up and running. And I don't want to do gambling here. That will be something that we do for our sort of... gambling and tourism culture work very well together, so we'll put that in our education city, because the great thing is you can use your tourism to generate a lot of extra people and then put gambling in so that you can make a bit of money that way. So what we're going to need here, we will need a trading depot. Not worried too much about that at the moment. The first thing we're going to go into is mining. And we want a coal mine. Now, it's 22,500 simoleons, which we can't rightly afford at the moment. An ore mine costs the same amount of money. And also, let's just have a look how much a coal power plant will cost us, because these factories are going to take a fair bit of power anyway. A coal power plant will cost us 17,000. It does take quite a few simoleons per hour to keep running, though, which is the downside to things. So we're going to put all the taxes up to the magic numbers. Hopefully start making some money here. We will be getting people moving in. We already are getting people moving, which is good. So I'm going to speed up the simulation a little bit. Now, of course, I could just send myself some money from my other city, but I don't really see an awful lot of need to do that at the moment. If I get into big trouble later on, I will do that. We'll take out another bond. I think we'll go for the 50,000 one at the moment. No need to overreach. And we want to put in our coal mine, so let's get that going. So we would like a coal mine. As you can see, we've got a few good reaches of coal there. So let's put the coal mine slap on top of the current bit of coal. I'm not going to bother putting extra mines on it yet. There's no point upgrading it because, one, it's not currently working, so it's not actually earning us any money. Now, we will need a trade depot, of course, because we need to be able to store and ship all of this stuff out. So we can get ourselves a trade depot. Now, try and find a useful place to put it. Let's just check where that coal was again. Sorry, bear with me. Coal map. Yeah, there isn't really any coal on that side. I mean, there's a little bit, but not much. So if I decide to put the trade depot on this side, it's not really going to get in the way of anything. So we have a trade depot. This trade depot is going to need storage for coal. So let's put a coal storage on there. And let's give it an extra truck because it is going to be quite busy eventually. Now, we're also going to need a raw ore storage lot. I'm going to put that on straight away because it only costs 15 per hour. So don't really need to worry too much about that. And hopefully there'll be enough people in the area to work it. Now, the next thing we'll probably do before I get the raw ore mine up and running is to actually get our coal power plant, because what we're going to notice now is we'll start losing power. We're already in a deficit, which is a bit of a pain. We're already getting brownouts somewhere because I've just heard some lights switch off. As you see at the far end of the city, the power is starting to go out here, which is not a good thing. We can actually afford to get our coal power plant, so I think we will go for that straight away. So I'm going to put that there. I know there was a little overlap, but we're going to be getting rid of the wind one, so that's not too much of an issue. We have a massive excess of power now, which means we can get rid of this one. It's actually closed now hiring. I thought it was actually working considering it said we had a massive excess of power. Just seems to be producing some power. But that should be all of our power needs sorted out for quite a bit of time, really. So, we're going to have an Amiga Co factory here. We're going to need to decide what we're doing with our trade depot. Will we be selling the stuff? Probably not. I mean, the coal we will be using internally to a degree, because we are going to be using it to power our coal plant. The minerals we will be sending to our Amiga Co. We're also going to be buying oil because there's no oil here in the region. But we're going to want to try and have a mining HQ here if we can. We are also, and they take up a lot of space, and we're also going to want to have an Amiga Co HQ if we can as well. So that's really our targets for this city. Now we will get the ore mine in here as soon as we can afford it. In fact, we're not terribly far away from being able to afford it anyway. So what we're going to do for now is we're going to go back into the mining menu, and we are going to take our ore mine and we're going to place it right here on top of the ore. And until we get our Amiga Co, we are going to set our ore to export because that will give us a little bit of extra income. So now we have our coal mine set up, we have our ore mine set up. Now, what we need to do in order to get some of these things is the metals HQ, there's the smelting factory, and there's the advanced coal mine. Not too worried about the advanced coal mine for now, but we need an engineering division at a metals HQ active in the region. Again, in the regional thing, so you don't need one everywhere. The smelting factory needs a smelting division at the metals HQ, so that means we need the metals HQ first before we can do anything else. Now, in order to do that, we need to mine 96 tons of coal or raw ore in a day. So we are going to need to get more mines going before we are able to do that. But that shouldn't be too much of a problem. As soon as we get some more money coming in, we will get those connected up nicely. Now, we don't need to worry about oil and petroleum because we don't have any oil here in the area. We have trade. We could build a trade HQ. We will need 3 different storage lots, which isn't really a problem because we have... We can easily put another storage lot down, even if we don't use it. We've got the space for it. Now, trading $72,000 in the global market resources in a day can be a little bit tricky because you need to be buying or selling. Remember, it says trade. It doesn't say you have to make 72,000 simoleons. You can actually buy 72,000 simoleons worth of stuff in a day. So there is potentially a way of doing that. And then, as you can see, to get the trade port, you need to have an awful lot of stuff. Well, you need to have a commerce division at any one of the major HQs. And we are going to have the AmigaCo HQ. So, electronics, processor factory, well, we don't have the tech so far to do that. We don't necessarily need it, though. We need to make enough to get an electronics HQ. So, I want to try and get as many of these buildings crammed in as possible, although they're not all really needed. Having the consumer electronics factory is actually quite useful because we need it to make the televisions so we can build the Arcology Wonder. And if we just look at culture, as you can see, most of the things that we have here in culture are just basically landmarks. But they do raise the land value and increase tourism. The stadiums are some of the most useful things for making money. They take quite a bit of space and they take a lot of money to get kick-started, but once you start putting on attractions every day, you will make a lot of money. But you do need to have a good transport system. You need to have good tourism because you need to invite people in from outside of the city. You can make a lot of money doing that. And then there are these other attractions and things that, again, just sort of bring people in. So we've been asked if we can put a house of worship in, try and get some Sims to visit. Why not? Let's have a temple. I mean, these are free, so there's no harm in it, right? So let's pop it in there, and that'll give a little bit of happiness in the area around where we've got the coal mine, which is a very good thing. And how many... Is it just put one down? No, we need to get 80 low wealth Sims to attend a house of worship in a day. That should be easy enough. AmigaCo factory. We know we need that now. The AmigaCo factory will take a lot of power, but I think we're generating enough. Just going to go back here. We appear to be having some problems with sewage. I don't know why, because... we're definitely dealing with the flow, I think. We will upgrade our sewage, though, because that's pretty bad. So we could go for the sewage sanitizer. The problem is we don't have any control net here. Now, is control net in the region, or is it just in a single city? That I'm not too sure about. So we might just have to go with a sewage treatment plant. We probably will end up having a... what's the place called now? The academy. We probably will end up having an academy here at some point. Mega towers I may or may not bother with. Haven't decided yet what I'm doing there. Gambling house, not going to bother with that. Not in this city, there's no point. So finally we've got the AmigaCo. We are going to place an AmigaCo factory. We know we need to do that. And then once we have 5,000 simoleons per hour from franchises, we will then need an AmigaCo HQ. So that reminds me, what we are going to have to do at the trade depot is we're going to have to place an oil storage lot. Even though we have no access to oil in this particular city, we are going to have to buy it in because we're going to need it for our AmigaCo factory. So manage global deliveries, oil we want to import. Quite expensive, which is a bit of a pain. But let's get that AmigaCo factory and let's find somewhere for it to go. Didn't leave myself an awful lot of space there, unfortunately, which was a bit of a mistake on my part. Let's once again have a look at that. Oh, there's no coal map for it there. Okay, so let's have a look at the coal map. I don't want to build it over the top of the coal, that's the main thing. So if I build it along here, along the bottom, we should be fine. So let's go back into roads. Definitely looks like I'm going to have a problem with the sewerage. I'm going to have to sort that out. So we'll build a road across there for now, just so we've got somewhere to build it. And back into AmigaCo. And we will place our Omega Co factory down here. That should give us a lot of space to expand. We should have the power in order to do that. What have you guys got going on here? Well, we certainly can put an extra mine or two on here. We can have an augmented coal shaft. It looks like we need to have the Omega Co HQ. Increase coal mining efficiency, but also pollution. Yeah, that doesn't sound like a great thing. But, oh, not enough simoleons. We are actually out of money. That's not a good thing. Okay, fair enough. Let's cancel out of that. That's just because we've put the Omega Co down, and that is quite an expensive thing. We're going to start having health issues. We're going to start having sewage issues. So let's speed things up a little bit more. Well, we've completed that mission anyway, so that gives us an entire 1,000 simoleons. Don't want to take out any more loans, really. Can't really afford to do that. Now, I don't actually think I have a city hall in the area yet for some strange reason. Well, I don't. We can have one, though. So, we'll place our town hall... Where will we place our town hall? I think we'll have it on this side of the road, actually. So, we have our town hall. Need 5,000 residents before we can upgrade it. Says I can name my city, which is great, but I've already done it. So, there we go. So... we're going to start having problems with fire and health because we haven't got any of these things in. Now, as you can see, Vaultville's firefighters volunteered to help. So I do actually have fire services coming in from outside. But what I am going to do is build a basic fire department here. Just so that we've got one up and running. Sewage is definitely going to be the next issue. Although I'm not sure what the... well, occasionally it stops pumping. But, yeah, it's kind of struggling. It's on the verge. So how much do we need? 64,000 for a sewage treatment plant. Now, that is actually quite expensive. I'd be tempted to go for the sewage sanitizer, but I don't have the control net available here. Arsonist from Vaultville threatens local homes. So, as you can see, we've actually got... criminals coming in from outside cities, which can also be a problem. And you see we're starting to get a lot of house fires now. Don't think things are too bad, so we should be good for the time being. This might be the city where we put down Dr. Vu and Maxis Man. Because I did say that I would show you guys that. So we need Maxis Manor. Now what do these... build an arcology. Well, we said we'd try and have a go at that, but not quite ready to do that yet. What do you guys want? Let's get a large fire station. Not going to do that because we've already got one in the region which we can use should we need to. Money is starting to come in. There's not a great amount of money coming in, but it is coming in. So if we look under police, this is where we can build Maxis Manor. Now Maxis Manor is going to cost us 40,000 simoleons. So it's going to be a little while before we can afford to do that. And the sewage problems I need to get sorted out before I do anything else. We're at maximum speed for the simulation. Let's have a look how our residential area is doing. It's not doing too bad, actually. We already have quite a few houses here. They're not quite ready to expand in density yet, but it won't be long before they are. So what we can do soon is upgrade a few of these streets and start to get some high-density population in. There's definitely room for some more workers. So... we probably really shouldn't be upgrading the density until we are able to deal with the sewage problems, to be honest. This is just going to run me out of cash almost straight away. But like I said, if things get desperate, what I can actually do is just transfer some cash over from Vaultville. But I want to avoid doing that for now, mainly because it means I'd have to load in another city. So what have we got going here at the storage depot? They want us to build a trade HQ. That is something I said I would like to do, but again, I think it's a little bit early to worry about doing that right now. The Omega Co is definitely working. It is pumping away. It's still struggling a little bit for the raw ore. Try and get all my words out. Obviously, we've got our ore plant over here. So let us build another ore mine. Do seem to be a little bit limited for where we can build. And we don't have enough simoleons either. How much is one of these? 16,000. So we are quite short of cash. Well, I will keep things going. So, let's just have a look at the other cities. Might as well show you guys what I've got while I'm here. So, let's go into Voltford. This is going to be my city for education and also tourism. As you can see, again, it is very, very basic, much like what we started on the last city. I really did it just to claim the areas, because I knew that I was going to invite some of you guys on. I thought, well, I best claim the areas that I want to use and then get them sort of set up, ready to go. So, as you can see, we've got a town hall, we've got a little residential area here, we've got a little bit of industry right on the edge of town with our power plant and a water supply, and that is basically it. So, at the moment, in Voltford, there is little to nothing going on. So, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to load in Voltville. Yes, it does need oil, which is its big problem at the moment. Once we get in here, I'm going to see if I can remember how to transfer money across, because it's been a little while since I've done it. Even when I did play this game originally, I never really played it much on the multiplayer side of things. As you can see, we've got quite a bit of money going on here. So if I go into the region view, and it is Voltopolis that needs simoleons, it certainly does. Try and remember how to exchange Voltopolis. Can't remember how to send it money, which is not a good thing. Is it in here? Treasury, income, outcome, taxes. There we go. Is that it? Gifting. Yes, there we go. Gifting advisor. So what I want to do is I want to gift your simoleons to Voltopolis, which is what I want to do. And let's send 100k. Send gift. There we go. So we've sent money across to Voltopolis. What we could also do, of course, is we could loan out some of our sewage capacity if we have enough. Buy sewage treatment from neighbouring cities. And we could loan out our fire service. So we could actually volunteer some of our vehicles and some of our health. So, for example, I could volunteer 2 of my ambulances out to Voltopolis, so I think we'll do that in the meantime. We're also going to volunteer out a few of our police cars as well, so that they can deal with some of the crime there. And let's go back into Voltopolis, and hopefully that money should have arrived. Now, this is where we'll see if they've actually fixed the bug where you used to send money between cities and it would magically disappear. And it looks like it has magically disappeared, because I sent some money here and it has not arrived. Isn't that strange? Let's just speed things up again, just in case I have missed something. Yep, there it is. It arrived. It just took itself a little while to do so. So that's good. There's now a few things that we can do. First things that we can do here is improve the ore mine. So let's go ahead and do that. Before we run out of money completely, let's go and solve the problems here. Okay, we have a problem with water. So let's go for one of these futuristic pumping stations. Now, not too bothered about futurizing the houses all that much. It would be good if we could futurize the industry, but we don't have a lot of water around here, which is a bit of a shame. So let us just pop in the water pump over... Let's just do it there, actually. So we've got the water pump in. This is where they want us to do a futuristic attraction. What was that? Have 5 high wealth houses developing. Oh, high wealth attractions. Plot multiple high wealth attractions. Yeah, not too bothered about that. I'm just going to cancel that mission for now. Don't really care. We are going to go over to our coal mine. What do these guys want us to do? I think it's still the upgrade, isn't it? Yeah, expand the coal mine. So we are going to do that now. We can afford to do so. And then before we completely run out of money, we are going to go and sort out our sewerage problems. But we've run out of money. Oh dear, how terrible this is. I could just put down another sewage outflow pipe. But there again, we are quite close to being able to afford to put sewage treatment plant down. What's going on with the fire department here? These are the guys that want to do the fireworks. I'm going to say yes. Now, this usually ends up not working well because things get set on fire, but the actual fireworks come from the fire department, and the fire department isn't all that close to the houses. Yes, we already have a fire here, which isn't a great thing. Hopefully, they can deal with it. What's that icon? I don't recognise it or remember it. Oh, Monster Truck Rally, building the Expo Centre. That is something that will get built, but not in this city, most likely. So, things are doing well. What do we have here? We seem to have quite a bit of oil. And we should be selling that oil, because we're not actually using it here, are we? We do have it on... we're importing oil? What is it that we need for the Amiga Co? Is that oil? Yeah, it's oil. That's why we're importing, because we need it for the Amiga Co. Okay, that is fair enough. Now, obviously, we don't want to sell all of our coal, because we do use our coal for the power plant, but we probably can afford to export some of it. We are currently using it locally. Unfortunately, we wouldn't actually save a lot if we exported it, but we'll try and export it for now and just see what happens. We don't want to run out of power, though. That is the only real problem we have here. Let's take a look at City Hall. It's probably time to upgrade it. Nope, still this guy wanting the archaeology. No, thanks very much. Fire department is, of course, struggling to cope with all of the fires. I don't think we're going to complete that mission somehow. Never mind, it was worth a try. Worst case scenario, we're going to lose a few houses. Best case scenario, we're going to gain 50,000 simoleons. There's only 2 hours left, although there's quite a few fires going on, but they are doing their best to put them out. Bear in mind, of course, we've also got fire coverage coming from the other cities as well. Well, at least coming from Vaultville, because it's the only city that has any sort of fire department going on. Haven't quite got up to our 5,000 citizens yet. We will do shortly. Okay, now is definitely time to sort that sewage out. Well, we completed that, so that gives us 50,000 simoleons in the bank. So let's put down a sewage treatment plant. We're going to pop it down right there. As soon as that's up and running, we're going to get rid of that one. And that's money back in the bank. The fire department seem to be coping. Maxis Manor, that was the other thing that we were going to do. Of course, can't do that just yet. Still got to wait a little while. Some of these houses are starting to futurize. Owned and operated by Amiga Co. So a few of these houses are becoming Amiga Co franchises. Amiga is running dry. Our business is running dependent on it. Another little mission here at the ore mine. What do you guys want? Yep, I do intend to build a metals HQ, but it's going to take a little while before I can afford to do that. So, looking at the Amiga Co, they still seem to be managing nicely. Not a problem there. Let us get them another production line. So we can produce Amiga Co produce Amiga all that much more quickly. Still says we are having problems with the sewerage, which we really shouldn't be, because we have a huge excess, but what we're going to do now is get rid of that. We also, of course, have quite a few buildings that were decimated with the fire. So let's get rid of those. They will rebuild, of course, so we don't have to worry too much about that. The area is already zoned. Of course, waste disposal. We don't really have anything to deal with that. We could deal with it from one of our other cities, but it's probably better to start dealing with that nice and early on. We've probably got some room over here. Not a great deal of room. Hopefully we won't be producing that much garbage here anyway. Now let's just have a look. We will need at least one incinerator because I don't like the garbage dumps to fill up. So as soon as we can afford it, we will get ourselves an incinerator. Won't be long before we can. Let's just quickly speed things up a little. There we go. We can afford one already. So let's put down an incinerator. There we go. That's all good stuff. So we're now dealing with the garbage. Fire is still struggling a little bit. We're going to need to expand our residential shortly as well. Not really seeing any growth over here as far as density goes. But they need to be a little bit happier before they can do any of that. We're probably going to need to have another fire station before long. Maybe we actually need to futurize homes before we can use Omega with them. Although this one here is outside of the radius of this water tower, and it has futurized. So they are becoming Omega Co. Well, these are businesses, these ones, not houses. But they are outside the range of this futuristic water tower, and they have still upgraded to a futuristic building. So that will work quite well. There are some people getting sick, of course, which means we're going to need to have a clinic here, even if it is only a basic one. Clinic's going to cost us 20,000. We can afford it, just about. So we are going to pop it... Let's pop it down there, actually. So just trying to make sure that we've got all the basics covered. Even though you technically don't need these buildings because you can just buy the services in or volunteer the services from other cities, you do have to be considerate that it does take time for them to get there, and it's worth having just a small one in each city just to deal with instant problems. So I guess really that's all I can do now. We are just literally waiting to build up some money. I don't really want to have to gift any more across because otherwise Vaultville is going to end up running out of money. But we do now have permission to build the Metals HQ, and we have permission to build the Omega Co HQ. So that is something that we're going to be looking at in one of the next videos as soon as we are able to do that. Omega Co is going very, very well so far. Of course, we're also going to have to expand our population because we don't have a huge number of people living in the city. And of course, we are very reliant on taxes. Let us pay off one of those bonds. Now, it does seem a little bit silly that I've just taken 15,000 simoleons and spent it instantly. But that's, you know, a few hundred simoleons per hour less that I'm now not having to spend to repay that loan. So plans for the next video, if we can get enough money to do it: get Maxis Manor up and running, get a Omega HQ up and running, get a Metals HQ up and running, and expand the population of Vaultopolis. And then at some point I will then go through and start working on Vaultford and getting the culture and the tourism up and running. So remember, there are 13 empty plots in this this city region. So if you guys would like to join me, as again I'm playing on Europe West 3, send me a message on YouTube, tell me why you'd like to join, and give me your Origin username so that I can add you to my friends and invite you to the city. And as before, I politely ask, if I do give you an invite, please only claim one city region, because it's not fair on other people, because there's only a limited number of places that I can invite people to come and play. Remember, of course, things in the region are shared, so to a degree it does help if you work together. Of course, I've already got a city hall running with quite a lot of the upgrades on it, and I've probably got enough population in Vaultville to, well, definitely have enough population in Vaultville to add at least one more. And I think there's only one or two that we haven't got, including the Department of Education, which if I don't, I'll probably build in Vaultford anyway. So you're already going to be joining quite an active region that already has quite a lot of resources, and you'll probably find that the majority of things are going to be unlocked based on the things that I've already built or things that I will be building. So I hope you guys are still enjoying the series. I hope you've enjoyed looking at my new city, and I hope to see you next time. So until then, goodbye for now.